and I have the radar pulled up, and there's a pretty good line of storms going west to east here, so keep that in mind. It could start popping at any point, and some pretty good lightning with it, by the way. It looks to be a good old-fashioned midsummer type storm here in the middle of May. Perfect timing for Joe Convertino Jr. from CH Insurance, our Cup of Joe. Joe, how are you? Good to chat here.
Hey, good morning, Gomez and Lisa. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
How was your week off last week?
It was good. You know what? We were down actually in Florida. I have some relatives down there that we visited, and then my niece graduated from the University of Tampa.
Nice.
So we drove up there and spent a little bit of time over near Sanibel Island. So good.
Very nice.
Enjoyed it. It was a nice week down there.
And then, Lisa, you probably just marketed and sold a bunch of houses.
I did. I just, I did some homework and, had some meetings and,
Nice.
did some house stuff and some candle and soap stuff. And, busy summer.
Mm-hmm. Very
Busy
nice.
spring.
Very nice.
Busy spring.
Yes. Speaking of this weather, as you kind of let off, Gomez, here's what's happening again, right? These storms, downpours. It's just, and even I think it was last week or a week when you guys were maybe gone, the excess rain that's happening. And to our viewers, kind of starting with insurance first as we let into it, but you got to make sure you have the right coverage either on your homeowners or commercial building. In the homeowners world, people have sump pumps, finished basements. There's an actual endorsement for sump pump coverage. Typically it gives you $5,000 or $10,000 worth of coverage, but you can up that limit to maybe $20,000 or $25,000 if you have a finished basement. Obviously, it's not going to flood in your basement, but you got to make sure that you have that endorsement on your policy. And then water backup of sewers and drains. Typically in the business world for the retail store or commercial building, there's some throw-in coverage of $5,000, but you got to work with your agent to make sure you have that right endorsement, maybe to get more coverage for what happens over the next 3-4 months.
Yeah, I mean we're headed like we were saying. It looks like pretty soon in the next 20 minutes or so downtown we could get some pretty heavy rains right here.
Yeah, no, so it's just, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, with people, if you store your inventory, if you have a business space and you're storing your inventory in the basement and you only have $5,000 worth of coverage, I mean, that's a problem. So you cover, that's a lot of, is there a variety of coverages that would cover that? I mean, do you cover your stock? Do you cover what's covered? That really makes me nervous now that you said that.
Well, it would cover. Well, think of a basement where you fixed it up nice. You got, you may have carpeting down there that would be covered, right? You've got, ping pong table, pool table, things on the ground that you might have a bar, right? People have expensive bars down there that when
your
you have some water
space. Yeah, your office space, People run businesses out of their basement.
Oh, yeah. So we've seen it where sometimes the basements are nicer than their upstairs family rooms, right? With what people do. The contents are covered, guys, if God forbid there was a fire, but I'm thinking more of the backup, right? Some sort of backup. If a pipe bursts and goes in the basement, all that's coverage. That's unlimited. That's where you still got to look at your policy to up your limit if you've done some expansion or remodeling in the basement. And no different in the business world, right? With things that happen, a sewer and drain, right, that is in the middle of a warehouse that just, I call it flood, but, because of the backup, it doesn't hold enough water and all their inventory and stuff is ruined. Okay, that could be deemed a flood. And always look, I know, Lisa, in your world, if they're in a flood zone, it's required to get flood insurance to cover the loan. I assume you see a lot of that out there?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And some people just are flat out, they see, They see that, and they are not interested in even the possibility of a flood zone, and that's a good thing to point out too, if you're looking for houses, and that's, make sure it's not in a flood zone, or if it's even a question, and make sure you're able to get the flood insurance.
Correct. So those are things that a lot of our clients do. They know they're buying something in 30 or 60 days. Don't wait to closing to get the flood. Get an idea of what it costs, because it may not be as expensive as you think. It really might. I mean, that stuff, I'm not saying it's gotten better, but there's ways to work it to lower the premium with deductibles, maybe work with a realtor like yourself to, make sure it fits in the right financial program for someone. And then in non-flood zones, guys, I always recommend flood is, if you're in a non-flood zone, flood is fairly inexpensive to at least almost get some sleep insurance. What's happening with excess rain is it's, coming down the roads. Maybe the drains aren't out at the, near the driveway. Carriers are deeming that a flood, even though it isn't water or a river coming over. So it's just interesting. Just work with the right agent or insurance person to help kind of guide you through the process. And then I guess one last thing, Gomez, hats off. I wanted to congratulate. I know the Crystal Ball Awards were last night. I know John Serino and Joe Corsi were there, and I saw you were there. Hats off to Jeff Canals for winning that prestigious award. So that had to be a nice time.
It was a nice time. Big crowd down at the Hotel Syracuse Marriott downtown up in the Grand Ballroom. And, deserving. Just, he's not even 40 years old, and the guy's just done some amazing things for a young guy. Well deserved.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, hey, we got a great weekend. You got Syracuse Princeton tomorrow.
Yes.
And then our favorite thing, Lisa, for Gomez and me, it's the PGA Championship. We have a major to watch this weekend, Sunday afternoon, right, Gomez? Right on the couch.
Right, it's a perfect spot to be. Joe, hey,
yes.
Thanks, and we'll talk to you here in a couple of weeks, and we'll be out in the course ourselves here soon.
You got it. Have a great weekend.